Hello, very good morning. Welcome once again to the studios. Well, thank you for staying with us from 6 till now. It's now time to roll up with more of the programming on the Morning Focus. The Morning Focus is embedded with the news, the sports, the weather updates. It's now time to turn our attention to look at the scripture, reading the African proverbs, and then we head straight away to the front burner of the happenings in the country. Then right after that, we move again. The next thing to do is to turn our attention to bring the national policy focus. So it's another brilliant time for us. Today is a Thursday, the 23rd day of April 2026. So tomorrow is someone's birthday, isn't it? I wonder what is going to happen. But once again, I want to say good morning. Welcome to the Morning Focus. My name is El Samuels, and his name is?
I'm Bernard Agbemo Eduji.
I want to say a very big thank you. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, and we are setting the agenda for the nation transition, isn't it? We start with our morning scripture from the book of Ecclesiastes, the chapter 9, verse 10, brought to you in association with the Maranatha Power Ministry International, located here in Nwa Adegono, behind the Lekma Polyclinic. Today's Thursday. We're taking it easy by reminding you that on Friday there'll be Mega All Nights coming up exactly 10 p.m. And on Sunday, the Victory service, the Breakthrough services also comes on. We have two services, 7 a.m. and the English service, and 9 a.m. The mixed bag, I always call it as a Ga and all the languages you can think of on the second service, the Breakthrough service as well. So you can join us in any of the services, but don't forget Fridays and Mega Super All Night and Mega All Nights. We'll tell you more about that. But our scripture is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, the verse 10. It says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Now I love that word. Do it with all your might. And this morning we reflect on the value of focused intelligence. What do you mean? Of the scripture for this morning.
Do it with all your might.
Whatever, anything you find yourself to do, do it with all your might.
Yeah, that is full commitment. Yes, to your engagements. Don't do it halfway. At the end, it's better than being nonchalant, be konongo kaya kind of attitude. It doesn't reward. Such nonchalant and lack of commitment, lack of seriousness, lack of dedication.
There's no direction.
No direction. It doesn't reward. It doesn't reward. I learned something, and I think I'm learning again from that statement that people who are talented, right? People who are like they are skilled from birth, they are naturally gifted. Only a few of them will end up being great. But somebody who is not naturally talented, but consistent with what they do, they will be great. Right? So it is not about being talented, being skillful, and all of that. I mean, I learned this from Dr. Mensa Otabio. But being consistent on what you're doing, you become great at it. You become that go-to person in that thing. So whatever your hands find to do, give it all your commitment as if you are doing it unto the Lord. And you know, you doing it biara doesn't reward. It doesn't reward, right? But if you give all to it, you are building commitment, you are building experience, and it will pay off.
You're building commitment, you're building experience, and it will pay off. You're building consistency, and that is a key word there for the scriptures in that order. Says that whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. I mean, this morning we reflect on the value focus. The scripture reminds us to govern our lives by principles that align with our higher purpose. Like I said, consistency brings our key to bear. And you need to bring that consistency to it. Now, let's break it down for a while. To go deeper into the book of Ecclesiastes, the chapter 9, verse 10, we have to look at both the why and the how of this command King Solomon wasn't just talking about working hard. He was talking about the urgency of living. The verse ends with a sobering reminder, for in the realms of the dead where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom. So our time on earth is the only window we have to make a tangible impact. Once the night of death comes, the opportunity to build, serve, or create is gone. And this adds a layer of divine urgency to everything you do today. The phrase, whatever your hand finds to do, suggests that God isn't just interested in a spiritual task like prayer or church work. It includes your business, your parenting, your study, and even your chores you do. Doing it with all your might means rejecting half-heartedness. I always call it giving it your best shot. If a job is worth your time, it is worth your excellence. Do I have to repeat that again? If a job is worth your time, it is worth your excellence.
Yeah.
In a world of distraction, all your might requires focused intelligence, giving 100% of your mental and physical energy to the task at hand. If you read the book of Colossians, chapter 3, the verse 23, the Bible says, truly govern your life by this principle. You have to link it to a higher authority. The New Testament echoes in Colossians, and whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. And working for the Lord, not for the human interest. Now let's look at the shift. When you realize you're working for God, not just a boss or a paycheck, your might increases. Excellence becomes a form of worship. On the Morning Focus show, this scripture serves as a call to national and personal accountability. We handle the file or policy with the realization that your window to serve Ghana is limited. We can transit on this earth at any point in time. Don't just manage to get by. Innovate and execute with every bit of strength you have. This morning we're encouraging you, whatever you find yourself to do, do it with all your might. If you are breathing, you have a purpose. Don't sleep through your opportunities. That is all we're telling you. Don't sleep through what? Your opportunities. Because when you sleep, things slip from your hand.
Yeah.
When you sleep, things slip from your hand. It'll be like here. Hold your book or your phone and start slumbering. It will fall out of your hand.
Yeah.
So always saying that if you are breathing, you have a purpose. Don't sleep through your opportunities. There's another opportunity, another chapter that has been opened this morning for all of us to be alive today. For since by man came death, by man came into the resurrection of the dead as well. So you are alive this morning, there's a purpose for it. And I want to say a big thank you to the Maranatha Power Ministry International for supporting us to come your way with the scripture focus this morning. And they've supported us through all the reading. I believe that you run with this scripture with the wisdom for the day and be diligent with whichever area you find yourself today. You are alive because there's a purpose you need to fulfill to discover the purpose. That's why I invite you to be part of the Mega All Night coming tomorrow, Friday, at exactly 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Come, let's spend time with the word, the worship, the praise, and prayer. Come, and let's do it together. Don't forsake the assemblies of the saints. Then on Sunday, I invite you to be part of the Sunday 2 services, the victory service at 7 a.m. and the breakthrough service at 9 a.m. So you can join any of the services. Sometimes I love to sit through all the services because I enjoy to be in the presence of God, and I want you to be in the presence of God. We want to say a big thank you and a very good morning to the Bishop General, Francis Afote Odai. for the support and the courage to be here. Good morning to you, and good morning to Madame Valerie Afutilodai, and the entire family, and the entire clergymen of the Maranatha Power Ministry International, Reverend Ashite, Reverend Ablo, Pastor Echa, good morning. Reverend Rev J, good morning to you all. And that takes us to our next, which is the African proverb for the day. Have you heard that a little each day? Have you heard that word? A little each day will fill the rivers to overflow.
A little each day.
Yeah, a little each day will fill the rivers overflow.
Yeah.
What do you make of this African proverb?
Yeah, it's like little drops of water.
You know, when growing up, there was that word, little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. It became like a mantra that we ran with it.
Yeah, there are several variations of that. Slow motion, better than no motion. Yeah, so crack a little by little is better than nothing at all.
A little rain each day will
Yeah.
fill the rivers to overflow. What do you want to say?
A little rain
A little rain each day will fill the rivers to overflow.
Yeah, and it's true. A little rain each day.
Each day.
Will certainly fill the rivers to overflow.
overflowing.
Yeah. So it is not just who wants and that is all. That cannot fill the river.
That kind of
But a little every day. That is again in line with the scripture. Consistency. Every day.
Every day.
Doing it every day. No matter how small it is. Do it every day to cultivate. That is how habits are cultivated. It becomes a daily thing. So if you want to cultivate the habit of reading, you read even if it is a page or two every single day. You don't miss out. You do it every day. You want to become someone who exercises. It's not about running several kilometers just one day. But even if it is like 1 kilometer a day, every day you do it. That is how you build consistency. It becomes part of you. It becomes a habit.
Because success is really an overnight event. It is the accumulation of consistent and small efforts.
Yeah.
So a little rain each day will fill the rivers to overflowing. An interesting piece, the Proverbs is a profound meditation on the law of accumulation.
Law of accumulation.
In the context of our morning focus, it challenges the get rich quick or instant fix mentality that often stars both personal and also national growth. Now, a single raindrop seems significant. It doesn't move a stone or quench a forest thirst. However, the Proverbs emphasize that the daily nature of the rain. Success is built on micro habits. It is 30 minutes of studying a new skill, the 50 cedis saved weekly, or the single policy tweak made today. Those small actions don't show immediate results, but they are secretly building the volumes required for a breakthrough. A tropical storm, intense rain can cause a flash flood, destructive and temporary, but a little rain each day, consistent rain, nourishes the soil and creates a sustained flow in the river. So what are the lessons? It is better to do a little every day, like Bernard said, than to work yourself to exhaustion once a month. In leadership and nation building, flash in the pan project often fails. It is steady, daily application of law and infrastructure, maintenance that fuels the nation, the national river of prosperity. Before a river overflow, it must first be filled. And there's a long period where the river level is rising, but the riverbed looks the same to an outsider. You may feel like your efforts aren't showing yet. You are working hard, but the rivers isn't full. The proverb is a call to patience. Just because the river hasn't reached the bank doesn't mean the rain isn't working. You know, let me tie this to in physics and finance, this is known as compounding.
Compound.
You know, each little rain adds to the water already in the river. Your efforts today are standing on the shoulders of your efforts from yesterday. Eventually, you reach a tipping point where the result becomes visible to everyone. And this is the overflowing stage. I hope we have been able to hit the nail right on the head this morning. As we look at the national policy focus today, whether it is the VAT reforms or the decentralization strategy, we must ask, are we providing the daily rain of accountability? We cannot accept the rivers of our economy to overflow if we aren't consistent in the small daily details of governance and citizenship. Do I have to go and say the bottom liners?
At this point.
I don't have to start and say the bottom liners. All we are saying that remember that however long the night, the dawn will break. Your current struggle is not your final destination. Keep running your race and staying in your lane. Do I need to take it again, Bernard? Now, I said we all should remember that however long the night, the dawn will break. Our current struggle is not our final destination. We have to keep running the race and staying in our lane. And that brings us to the closure of rolling out the 2-in-1, the African proverbs and our scripture focus for this morning. Now let's dive into the major critical national conversation on the front runner. The front burner, is it a doomsday dilemma? The electricity company of Ghana has released a schedule for planned maintenance affecting several areas today, April 23rd, 2026. The debate continues on whether these are purely technical interruption or a rerun to systemic power outages. That is number one. Ghana is formally engaged in South Africa following the fresh report of xenophobic attack on a Ghanaian citizen. Then the minority members in parliament are raising alarm over what they describe as a coordinated attack on the country's anti-corruption agencies. So these are the big conversation, critical national conversation we're looking at this morning on the front burner. We start with the electricity company of Ghana. Is it the doomsday dilemma? The debate continues on whether these are purely technical interruption or a rerun to systemic power outages. What do you make of this first one? Let's look at the first one. And also don't forget that Ghana is formally engaged in South Africa with a fresh report of xenophobic attack on a Ghanaian citizen. We saw the videos, and it's sad.
Yeah.
When your fellow African treats you like you are nobody.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I marvel at the South Africans during the apartheid time.
The way we all stood, for them. You know.
And now they treat us like we are not part of them. I'm surprised at some element, not all South Africa, but some element in South Africa.
Yeah.
And there are South Africans in Ghana working.
There are South Africans everywhere.
Nobody worries them.
Nobody worries them.
They're schooled here, nobody's worried about them. So why can't we also go on the same continent while we are looking at African free continental trade area where we're removing all the barriers that doesn't make it? Because if we all come together, that unity of purpose, we can grow the economy of the GDP of Africa to over 13 point something trillion.
Yeah.
So why are we doing this?
I mean,
and now we're sharing the question will be when young
so you see, this aggression, I call it aggression, is born out of frustration.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we too, because look, we must understand that we are blacks, we are one people. I know South Africa, per history, if I'm not wrong this morning, was the last to gain independence.
Yeah.
Because of, the apartheid rule, and how all Africans, people of African descent stood by them, stood for them in all the protests, in all whatever engagements, before they were able to gain their independence. So today it is quite surprising that, the same people will turn out against, their fellow blacks. But I see this as a frustration, an aggression born out of frustration. There is a theory in psychology, the frustration aggression theory, that when one is frustrated, most likely they may unleash aggression born out of that frustration. So the youth in South Africa, most of them unemployed, they don't have jobs to do and all of that. So they think that the blacks who are there have come to, take their jobs, take their fortune and all of that. So that is aggression, that is frustration, because I don't think Americans will go to, or was it Americans will protest against other nationals that they have taken over their jobs, or Chinese will protest against other nationals that they have taken their jobs, or whatever it is. It is just because there are no opportunities for the indigenes, and so they feel like the foreigners who are here have taken over our jobs. What they seem to forget is the fact that there are South Africans in Ghana. All the nationals they are attacking, there are South Africans in Togo, there are South Africans in Zambia, there are South Africans and they are business people. Nobody worries them. There are South Africans in Nigeria doing their businesses. Nobody worries them. So why is it that as for them, how many times have you heard, apart from Ghana must go sometime, in Nigerian history, where
those are history between the two countries.
Yes. How many times have you heard in any African country that there was a xenophobic attack against them? Not in Togo, not in even the poorest countries in the continent, not even them. So why is it always South Africa? Why is it that as for them, every now and then they are protesting, they are unleashing aggression or violence against foreign nationals just because? I mean, if you are in your country, you are not seeing the opportunities, and somebody has come, you see no opportunity, you should be asking yourself questions. You should be asking yourself questions why the other foreign nationals are those getting their jobs, are those doing the businesses. Is it that you are not skilled? Is it that you are not educated? Is it that you are lazy, as you are saying? So they should be questioning themselves. And mind you, look. Today it is, you think that your country is good, and there may be a time in history where those people, or a time in future where those people will find themselves in other countries and be working. So are there not South Africans in other countries, even in the United States and co? Do they face some of these things? So look, we need to. So I don't know what I can suggest at this point. They need to rethink, and unleash that frustration or aggression to the right quarters. If you want to protest against the government, not the foreign nationals. They have done nothing. In fact, there is what we call free entry. In fact, we are now in the age of Africa Continental Free Trade Area. There is a vision that by 2026, which I should be able to move to Botswana without any.
Look at a visa waiver that Ghana is doing for almost every African
country. Yes.
You don't really get why we're doing this, and then forgetting that the enactment of your independence was led by Ghana.
Yeah.
To get you to, the apartheid to be lifted and stuff like that. But sometimes you wonder, because the recent wave of the xenophobic tension in South Africa, specifically in Durban, reached a boiling point on Wednesday, leading to urgent diplomatic intervention between Accra and Pretoria. The Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, if you look at a viral video where the diplomatic standoff was sparked by a viral video showing a group of South Africans confronting a Ghanaian national and other foreign nationals. One widely circulated video showed a South African woman leading a youth group to confront a Ghanaian resident, accusing him of overstaying and demanding the return home. Are they immigration officers? That's the first question you should ask. The perpetrators in the video declared that African migrants are no longer welcome and should stay to fix their own countries instead of seeking greener pastures elsewhere. The Ghana Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, had a telephone conversation yesterday with South African counterparts Ronald Lumala, calling for a full-scale investigation and seeking assurance for the safety of Ghanaians. I mean, the behavior of some of these South Africans towards other African nationals, often termed as Afrophobia, is driven by a complex mix of systemic frustration, like you're saying, and also social misconceptions from South Africa. South Africa faces extreme level of inequality in the Gini coefficient of 0.63%, higher unemployment averaging 31.9%, with youth unemployment nearing 58%. So you see the frustration. But foreigners often scapegoated by disillusioned citizens who believe immigrants are stealing jobs and overburdening the public resources like housing and health care. So they have this, and studies are shown that many feel any job filled by a foreigner is one less for the locals, despite evidence that many migrants create their own jobs in the informal sector. Because, I mean, they create the jobs
most
in the
of them
sector.
are shop, operators and other things.
They are
Informal
selling,
sector.
some are doing...
You to go and sell. You to open a shop.
They don't want to sell. They don't want to sell. And there's this widespread perception of governance deficit where citizens feel government has failed to deliver promises, services since the end of the apartheid. You know, when the apartheid ended, public perception for a better life are unmet. Frustration is frequently redirected towards vulnerable migrant communities as a soft target. Now, sometimes they can harass them and collect their monies.
Collect their monies.
Yes. You know, but I believe that the public statement by political and traditional leaders have also fueled anti-migrant sentiment. In the past, remarks from a high-level ranking officials and traditional leaders, such as the late Zulu King, have been linked to outbreak of violence. When leaders frame migration as danger or a threat to the national security identity, it provides a sense of some legitimate vigilante groups like Operation Dula. You remember the Dudula operation, which actively targets undocumented migrants. And then they have this isolation of South Africans during apartheid, limited the majority population interaction with the rest of the continent. So this historical alienation has also contributed to the lack of social trust and a sense of exceptionalism that separates South Africans from Africans. So sometimes it gets to a point they feel themselves to be more ahead than other African countries.
Nobody is.
Which is today's government promise pro-community leaders warn that Ghanaians are currently unsafe in certain areas.
What makes the South African special?
That's a
What
big
makes
question.
what makes South
That is a big
Africans
question
so
you need to
special
ask.
that in fact they think who developed those countries? And even it is just not you may think that it is just a few of the states, Joburg and Pretoria and Co. Cape Town. It's not go to so there's no South African is special than anybody on this continent. They should stop what they are doing.
This is really not fair.
If you think you are superior, if you guys think you are great, you are superior, you should be exhibiting leadership. We should allow people to come, like the way Ghana is doing. We have opened our doors. Everybody is coming. Come and do business. Let's trade among ourselves. That is how we run development. That is how you show leadership. That is show that you are on top of everyone else, not driving them out. No South African is better than any or greater than any African on this continent or and outside the continent. We are all one people. They are not. South Africa is not greater than any
Africans here.
But the South Africans are here. We are one people. Why are they finding it difficult to understand the fact that we are one people? South Africans, Zambians, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, all the countries in the west and the southern part of Africa, they are all one people. When you read history, it is South Africans, part of them that moved to Namibia, and they are just one people there. So why are they unleashing this violence against them? They are